VIP for that title.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Everyday Psychic Radio. This show features healing and guidance and readings for everyday people just like you to find your way to your highest self and living your best life. Featuring Psychic Jenny McDaniel and your host, Drew Pillow.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Drew Pillow, and you can call me the amnesiac because I said we were going to change that intro music to include Jennifer Evans, who is a mainstay here on our show. So, welcome to Everyday Psychic Radio, where we provide experiences for listeners just like you. You can connect with the psychic and get a free reading, and you can find out what it's all about for yourself. No more listening to fake news telling you what the whole psychic and mediumship phenomena are really about. This is the truth right here. So here's your chance to line up, get on the phone lines, and find out for yourself and get some healing in the process. Today's show is brought to you by Heart Over Ego Radio, and it features the talents of the amazing Jenny McDaniel and Jennifer Evans, who's also amazing herself. So, ladies, if you can introduce yourselves really quickly so we can get on with the show.
Jennifer, you go first.
I will. Hi. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Drew. I'm Jennifer Evans, and I am a psychic medium healer. I've been trying hypnosis, and I'd like to work on that a little bit more, as well as an all-around fun person. And today, my role will be timekeeper. So please we don't need the whole background of your question. Just, you know what? While you're waiting in the queue, think of how succinctly you can ask that question because we don't have a lot of time. If you want to get to the head of the queue, log in, pay $10, let Drew know what phone number you're calling from, and that will get you right to the top because we only have an hour today. And how about you, Jenny?
Thanks for that. That was wonderfully displayed. I am Jenny McDaniel, and I do some channeling. I'm also a quantum karmic healer. I like to take a look at your parallel lives with you so that we can heal any issues that may present themselves that are causing disruptions in this time frame continuum. I call them parallel lives because I just graduated from calling them past lives to parallel lives because ultimately time doesn't exist and they're not in the past. They're happening right now, hence the parallel and siphoning from them. So you can find me here every Sunday with Jennifer, and we do the readings. Today we are going to do 60 minutes, 30 minutes less than normal. So if you have something that is very pressing and you want to get to the top of the line, go ahead and go to EverydayPsychicRadioVIP.com and go to the VIP section, pay your $10, get to the front of the line and get a double reading in a little extra time. We appreciate you, and all the money and the proceeds go to keeping us online, having 6 shows a week for your listening pleasure. Heart Over Ego Radio.
That's right, 6 shows. What does that mean? That means that you can tune into the same channel and you can listen to shows every day. You don't have to just wait till Sunday to catch us, but we're only here on Sunday, so make sure you never miss that day. But you can tune in almost every day of the week and catch different shows in this same line, in this same spiritual healing line. And yeah, our calls are free. You can call in if you're listening on the internet. The call-in number is 323-642-1188. 323-642-1188. And if you haven't heard already, we do offer a VIP plan. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, you can go to EverydayPsychicRadio.com and check that out. VIP means you're very important to yourself and us as well. So today, 60 minutes is all we got. So maybe that explains why I'm talking so quickly. But or maybe it's that coffee I had earlier. So with the condensed timeline, are we going to dispense with the opening wonderful remarks and banter that we are so world famously known for? Is that what we're doing today, ladies?
Dispense.
Oh man, that's my favorite part. Well, we're going to dispense, but that doesn't mean I'm going to dispense. So it's today's April 26th, and the year is 2020. The world is so different. I mean, for some people it's not very much, and for some people it's radically different. Before we jump into our first caller, because we do see you there, and I'm going to open up the chat room, how different, I just want to ask this real quick question. How different is life for you ladies today versus a year ago? No, versus before this thing started happening to our planet, our people?
Jenny?
Not a lot. I have been a massage therapist and body worker and in-person healer for most of my career for 18 years, and I kind of was pulling back from that a little bit simply because when you get older, you don't want to do more physical work, and I was also doing more psychic work. So I was already pulling back from that physical work a little bit more and doing a lot more virtually. So the things that have changed the most is I only get groceries once a week as opposed to maybe 4 times a week because I like to pop in and get some fresh stuff or things I'll forget to get. And I don't go out 2 days a week to do body work. So I'm not complaining about having this downtime. I'm very fortunate that I'm not affected financially, emotionally, or psychologically, which is why I like to hand over some time to people that are suffering and give them some reading and support. So not much. I'm fortunate enough to say not much. I get a little stir crazy every once in a while, and I just go for a drive, and that satiates it. So that's about it. What about you, Jennifer?
I've been working from home and not working from home since the end of April last year. So it's like the universe was preparing me for this anyways. The one thing that I can't do that I used to do on a regular basis, and I do miss it quite a bit, is go over to the United States. So I used to cross the border usually 2 times a week, probably about 10 times a month. And I haven't been able to do that for 6 weeks. Therefore, that part I don't enjoy because I do have a lot of friends over there. But I guess I wouldn't be able to see them anyways, would I? Ha ha.
Shelter in place.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. That's gonna be the sound when you are going over your time. Yeah. So what we ideally would like to have happen today is callers, we're going to let you know that you're on the air and just briefly let us know who you are and where you're calling from and what is your question or comment. You know, I know we love the backstories, like we have had callers that, when I was 8, my favorite color was blue, and 20 minutes later, will I get that job I applied for? I understand it all is important, but today, in the interest of time, so that you don't hear the before you even got your question out, let's keep it brief, and we'll do our best for you.
Jenny,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do something different? Like, do you want the odd number callers, and I'll take the even ones, or the opposite? Which ones do you want?
Let's do that.
All right.
I'll take odd.
All right. So you start.
Cool.
So if you're an odd caller, Jenny's going to handle you.
Par for the course.
That means she's got to take me first. So let's go ahead and get the caller in. Let's take an odd number. Caller from the 916 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question or comment, please?
Hello. I'm calling from Sacramento, California.
Okay. What's
Hi.
your name? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Kayla, and I'm calling from Sacramento, California.
What's your question?
So with this pandemic going on, it has directly hit me. So I've had a lot of time to self-reflect because I've been at home a lot more, and I find myself in a spiritual slump. And I was wondering if you guys have any sort of healing or guiding messages that would help me along my spiritual journey.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. Your spirit guides are stepping in immediately, and they're saying, oh, no. The human ego thinks it's a slump. In reality, you're going through a lot of karma, a lot of reflection. It can feel heavy. But in reality, it's what the soul desires. Not that we don't want excitement and light energy and fun in our existence too, but the old soul, which they're saying you are, and you're very in tuned, by the way, they're saying that try not to get hung up on what the human ego thinks is true and what is actually true. They're saying there's so much going on that even the best psychics can't even tap into. So just know there's layers of healing, lots going on inside of this reflection that feels like a slump. It's just an energetic vibration that you're being exposed to. in the world, really. And again, even though it feels like a slump, there's a lot of movement, reflection, and ideas. When we look back in our lives, we notice a lot of things, but some of them are the hardest lessons that brought us the most movement. And they're saying, you might have heard some people call it the kitschy title, Dark Night of the Soul, which is kind of a deep, dark reflection that sometimes feels overwhelming. Again, they're calling you an old soul healer, teacher, seeker. So just know that this is part of the awakening, part of the movement, and there's nothing wrong with any way a human could feel. They're saying it's not permanent. You'll flip the energy, but just know that the human ego likes to trick us into thinking things aren't happening when really the most is happening. We appreciate you calling, Sacramento.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great question and great
Good question.
answer. Yeah, the dark night of the soul. I want to talk about that later because I want to know what that means.
In between callers. Yeah, we'll talk about it later on.
Okay, so let's take an odd number call. An even number call. Let's go with 404 area code. 404, what's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question or comment?
My name is Keisha, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, Keisha from Atlanta. What's your question?
I want to know, will my baby daddy come home and we fix the relationship, or should I let it go?
Okay. There's part of you that wants someone better for you. However, if that's what you want, you need to, it's like you're not stepping 2 feet in. It's like you want them back, but you don't want them back. But you really, what you want is someone better. So are you 100% that you want someone better, or are you only 50% that you want someone better, Keisha?
I'm only 50% right now. I'm lost.
Yeah, so that's what you need to decide. So once you decide that, then you'll know what direction to go in. But I can't help you with that because I think there's part of you, too, that doesn't think that you deserve more, which means you've got some healing inner work to do. I think like the last person, you need that dark night of the soul, which is now a very perfect opportunity for you to sit back and say, okay, what do I want? What do I want to change about myself? It's better to change what you want to change about yourself and love yourself before you decide you want them back. It would be easy to have them back. It would be easy. That would be the easy route to go, but it's not the best route to go. Do you understand that, Keisha?
Yes. Okay.
So do the inner work, decide who you want to be and what you want to attract, and then once you've decided that, it's either the right person's going to walk in or he's going to walk out. It's just going to all be laid down for you, but you got to be 100% before you will have whatever it is that you need or want put in front of you. Okay, thanks for calling, Keisha. Good question.
Thanks, Keisha. So, okay, I'm waiting on that call to hang up. Okay, so Dark Night of the Soul, and I have a question because I can relate to Keisha. I had a relationship ended, and I was like, oh my God, can I have her back? And I guess God was saying, because we imagine this stuff, God was like, no. And I could tell that's what he was saying because the girl was like, I'm not coming back. So, so I was like, so I imagine God said, well, there'll be something better for you down the road. And I was like, I don't care about down the road. I want this one and I want it now. So it was a miserable experience because I couldn't have it. And I felt like maybe that was a dark, at least afternoon of the soul, because it was really, I
love it. I love that. It wasn't a night.
It was so.
It was maybe brunchy, a little middle of the day. Oh my God, that's great.
That was the lunch brunch dusk of the soul, and it was so miserable. And but when I came out of that, eventually I did. And I was like, oh my God, I learned so much. I was such a, I learned how to, become whole from the inside out, and something better eventually came. So I don't know if I'm interpreting that right. Sometimes things get really tough or dark before they get brighter. That's what how I just unintelligently interpreted, the dark night of the soul. Can you explain it to me more?
The technical term, it was coined by Teresa of Avila, I think it was. It's a Catholic thing. She was a nun, and she wrote this book called Dark Night of the Soul. And it was all about how you have to sort of it's like hitting your rock bottom as an alcoholic and going, okay, this pain, it's insufferable, but it hurts. It hurts to stay the same, but it's going to hurt to change. So you have to make the change. And that's what ends up happening. And it is a time of introspection as well, because you're seeing what's inside of you. You're forced to. But Jenny might have a different explanation.
Oh, that was great. That was like a history lesson. That was fantastic. I didn't know who coined it, and I didn't know it was Catholic. That's good to know. What I've known from it and what I've experienced is, yes, it's a breaking or a healing or a chipping off of usually some big understandings that one develops through their life that is being revealed as false or inaccurate, and that's one of the ways you can experience a dark night of the soul. Sometimes it's a deep depression around a big change that's coming up, or the world's forcing you to change. So I think that the word dark night of the soul is coming up quite often today because of where we're at as humans on this planet. It's forcing us to flex, move, change, at least think differently, think about different things at the very least. So, and a lot of us are reflecting deeply, which when we still our mind, we allow the reflection to happen, which can bring up a whole bunch of things that aren't always fun and exciting to look at. So it's a deep healing, and it's hard to get through, but it is usually quite often not permanent, and you do move through it. So again, it's difficult times, but on the other side of it is a brighter day, the lighter existence, is some healing in general. So dark night of the soul, heavy.
Yeah, and you said it's like the perception, seeing things through ego. It's like, oh, this is the worst, and that's a perception. Maybe this is not the worst. Maybe this is the path to the best. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's something I like about this show. Is like I feel like I'm in school with spiritual teachers, and they're giving, and I'm getting pointers on how to live my best life. So that's an added bonus that you get as a listener to this show. Please like and follow us on Blog Talk Radio and other podcasting apps. Hopefully we're on iTunes. Mm-hmm. Every time I check, we're there, and then sometimes issues happen. The internet is crazy nowadays. So the internet needs to drink some disinfectant, I'm thinking. So let's take another caller. That's not funny. So let's take another caller. 270 area code. This is not an odd number, but it's the odd caller or number caller. What's your name and location, and what's your question or comment?
My name is Joy. I'm calling from Kentucky. I wanted to ask if I could get a general message.
You just want a general message?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So your spirit guides are stepping forward, and they're saying that you happen to have some psychic or intuitive abilities, and that it would be important for me to tell you that when my spirit guides communicate with me, rarely do they use words. I think it's a common misconception for new intuitive individuals to think that it's going to come through like I'm talking to you right now. I often describe myself as a translator of frequencies and images and feelings and memories into English. I don't translate Spanish to English. I translate frequencies to English, which is a certain language that you learn. So your spirit guides are saying they're around. You chose them before you incarnated. They have a very nice frequency, a lot of healer, native kind of energy. But what they're saying is they're around you and they communicate with you. It's usually just in memories, and it can be dreams, and it can be words. But often you think you're thinking to yourself, and really that's you in a higher self form also in your mind. So it's just something to play around with. Any questions beyond that?
That's awesome. Beyond that, any chance of love this year?
it's tricky because of all the shifts and the moves and stuff. But they're saying if you do all the things that are required, they're saying it can, and everything's whimsical, and they want you to know not everything's set in place. You set things up as well as other people set things up with their free will. So they're just saying put effort into it. So energy. Right now, a lot of us are quarantined, so you might have to set that aside for just one moment. But they're just saying when things kind of resume a bit more, put the energy out there. The universe will work with you in getting what you want. It just takes you putting the courage out there. So good luck in that space, and we appreciate you. And use those psychic energies when you go into the dating field. So you can see a player from a mile away. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy from Kentucky.
Thank you.
Kentucky is so cool. Have you guys ever been to Kentucky?
Through it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Very
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Their accent is like the best ever. Like, it's just, I don't know. I love accents in general, but Kentucky is just so, I don't know. Some of them anyway. So that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
I heard that one.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's do it. We're on
Jennifer's
a roll.
turn.
We're on a roll. What was that sound that we're going to make again? Nah. Okay.
Nah.
So, caller from 216, area code 216. What's your name, location, and what's your question or comment, please?
Hi, how are you? I'm calling from Ohio. My name is Sharon. How are all of you today?
Hi, Sharon. Good.
Good.
Great.
I have a life question. I just, unbelievably, I was very surprised. I did get a job offer. I thought it was going to be held off until all this blown over, but they started me off at home. I started 2 weeks ago. It's a really good job. I like it so far. The people seem to be really, really nice. Do you feel this working out for me?
If you were going to pay a psychic to ask a question, is this the question that you would ask? So if this was a $100 reading, is that what you would ask me?
I would probably ask for a general.
Well, that wouldn't be a question, though. So if you were paying me money...
That's the only concern in my life right now. Other than, we're all stuck in the house. But, you can deal with that.
I feel like you're focusing on a question that isn't something that a psychic would, even if they answered you, is it going to change your life? No. It's going to be what it is. So there's an element to the question that says to me that you need to detach from outcomes. It's be in the moment. Don't worry what's coming down the line. If you're happy what you're doing right now, be happy in what you're doing right now. If I tell you it's not going to work out or it's going to work out, it's really not going to change your life, right?
That's okay. I see what you're saying.
So instead of getting obsessed with will this work or won't it work, just, hey, universe, gratitude. I'm so happy that I've got an income coming in and this seems to be good so far and I can do it, then yay me because I deserve this. Focus more on the things that you can control rather than who knows, in 6 months' time, look what happened in 6 months. 6 months' time, who knows, right? Just be happy in the present moment. Stop looking for external validation or find out why you're looking for that external validation. I feel like there's something, if you go back and do some inner healing work for your inner child, there's something that wants that validation because you're not sure of yourself. So now is a good time because you're working from home is to focus on you and getting to the point where, hey, I'm cool. I'm good with this because you are a great person, Sharon. You know that. You're a great person. You're smart. You're capable. But there's something that you need to fix because you're not happy. You need to hear it from other people. And I think that once you fix that, other doors like Sharon.
Uh-oh.
We missed that last sentence there.
No, it's probably my internet. once she focuses, Sharon, on what, if she's still on the line, focuses on not needing the external validation or the promise of outcomes or the hope of outcomes. It's that hope or that fear. There's hope and fear. Those two things are ingrained in her psyche, or your psyche, if you're still on the phone, Sharon. I'm listening. It needs to be worked on. So that's something that you need to take the time. And really, it can be done very quickly through meditation. And just say, hey, universe, why do I need this validation or this comfort? And I feel like it goes back to childhood, and I feel like you need to do some inner child work to stop looking for the external validation or the fear. There's fear and hope. The two are intertwined, and it's an unhealthy relationship between the two, fear and hope. When you meditate, ask about those two things, and then you'll get the answer, fix it, and move on, and new and better doors will open for you because you're smart, you're capable, and people are lucky to have you, but that fear and hope keeps you back. And thank you for calling, Sharon from Ohio.
We appreciate you, and that's good advice for everyone. I think that's excellent advice for everyone to take that to heart and look at why, as Americans, we'll just start with, we are constantly looking forward into the future and what ifs and can it's, as opposed to really breathing in that moment. I grew up in Michigan, and one of my good energy worker friends told me years ago, she looked like she was 25 and she was 55. I say, I know part of it's probably genes, but what else are you doing? She goes, I stay in the moment. When you go into the future, you're going into anxiety. When you go into the past too much, it's depression. Of course, she has memories of the past and thoughts of the future, but she stays present, and it showed up in her age, in her aging, in her body, and her health, and her clarity as a psychic, in my opinion. So there's something there for everyone. Thank you for that, Jennifer.
Wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to live 25.
She also didn't have kids or a husband, so that might have had something to do with it.
Very, very possibly.
Wow, and she probably had no makeup on, too. But that's just me being a guy. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Really
it was. Yeah, that's something I can write down and try and remember. It was. I felt like you were talking to me. Like, could you hurry up with this call? Because you're talking to me. Stop it.
We all have an element. Like, there's, I want to know that I'm going to be, look 25 in a year's time, and that would be hope. but having that, it doesn't, because you're just creating expectations, unrealistic expectations. And when things don't work out, I'm like, well, why didn't that work out? Like, I hoped it would, and it didn't. So, when you're in the future, you're hope and fear. Hope and fear are two, I don't like them. I just don't think that they're healthy. And I do think it cuts years off your life. The end.
The end.
Welcome to my TED Talks.
I want to do a TED Talk. We have, I want to do one. We have another caller. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Okay. And for the callers who just picked up and tuned in, this is Everyday Psychic Radio. We're here on Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific. And we're here. And this is us, Jen and Drew. God, that should be our show name now. So it's like a Jen and Drew sandwich. I'm the Drew part of the, never mind. Anyway, so you can tune in 6 days a week and catch shows here on this network. And you can tune in and catch us every day, every Sunday at 3. Let's get this caller from 631. My computer is freezing. Okay, there it is. 631, what's your name? What's your location? What's your question or comment?
Hi, my name is Suzanne from Long Island. And I know it's a future question, but oh well. What do you see with love life?
Let's take a look here, Suzanne. Do you mind clarifying the question? I mean, are you looking for a lover?
I'm looking, yeah. I don't want to look. I just want it to happen. It's exhausting looking.
Well, that's where we should sit and talk then, because wherever you're finding yourself bumping up against, that's where we dig quite often. And this is part of learning to date. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's no courses in that. And back in the day, you were almost paired with neighbors' kids that were your age to be married off to later on. And I know that's a little dramatic, but we aren't shown very often how to healthily look for partners. We're shown that we want it to just, or we feel like we want it to just happen, like you said, very human, by the way, and we're shown that it just happens, like it's a fairy tale thing. Well,
a lot of people just meet like in a certain place or a 7-Eleven. They don't have to go online nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Or, sometimes you can't go to many different hobby places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can go to one. And you can get on one online dating site, and you can do one thing. No, I wouldn't recommend millions of any of those things. It's way too overstimulating. But you're right. Some people do happenstancely run across each other. I'm a professional psychic. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've done well over 25,000 healings. I have heard story after story after story. 1% is a happenstance, meaning at a 7-Eleven or something like that. That is not science. That is just my experience. So there is a possibility for that. But what they're saying is never put your eggs in one basket. If you're trying to accomplish something, put eggs in many baskets. If you're uncomfortable with online dating, that's okay. You go about it a little differently and go out into a communal place in a different aspect, meaning like
I have. I've done that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with the uncertainty of the coronavirus and the shelter in place and the fear and the anxiety that's being imposed, I don't see this year for you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I want you to know that I'm looking at the momentum. Now, anything can happen. There's free will. Things can segue. But I just don't see the outlet, meaning the ways in which most, not all, people run across each other being really dampened this year. So they're showing me 2021, and they're saying, since it's a slow year for dating, go ahead and, find things that spark your passion. It's going to liven your energy up and make you feel good. So go ahead and use the time wisely. Again, there's a lot of variables, so I'm looking at one of them. I don't see this year. Again, if you keep putting the momentum toward it and the energy and the intensity and the desire, we'll hope for the best. We appreciate you for calling.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that
hard
was
to date in this time age continuum. I would say this time frame continuum. It's an interesting space, no doubt. It's hard to date anyway, and then when this kind of imposed, it's even more difficult.
I know a lot of people around here there's nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. They are dating. They are doing everything
normal. They're not sheltering in place. Mm-hmm. No, this one guy posted on social media, he said if everybody else wears a mask, if everybody else in the world wears a mask, then I should be okay. Like, yeah, maybe. I do all this stuff, and then I see all these people not doing it, and I get like, oh, man.
But you know what? If you can't, like, say you're looking to find a mate and you can't date right now, date yourself.
Perfect.
That's all you can do. You get a vibrator from Amazon.ca for sexual stimulation, and you say, "Hello, hand, I love you. Let's make out a bit, and do whatever." And Bob's your uncle.
And you got to wash your hands too. Remember to sanitize.
That's right. Make sure you're clean.
Yeah, but you know what? When you say that, it reminds me of just people are stuck in want to. Like, let me see if I can explain this, and you can tell me if you agree or not. What's best for me versus what I want. I'm going with what I want versus what's best for me.
Okay, Drew, what is want?
Instant gratification. short-sighted pleasure, and I'm not speaking about me.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm using this as an example. I feel that many people are operating on that wavelength. Do you think that's true or no?
Well, no, I think women and men, totally different scenarios. Women want, because this is the way they were brought up in Disney, is they want some guy to sweep them off their feet, fix all their problems for them, and, be good in bed, clean the house, do everything. And then men want sex. That's it.
Oh, so it's just going to be that kind of game. Okay.
Well, I'm not saying everybody. There's certainly some women who are more realistic, and there are men who, want sex and something else. But that seems to be the way that society was brought up. And is it right? No. Once you get it, if you're a woman and you can get over that whole I need a prince thing, you've got it made. And if you're a man, you can say, I still want sex, but I also want someone, with a sense of humor who makes me laugh and that I can talk to. Once you get to that place, then you've got it made too. So it's about taking what you think you need or what you think you want, because really, at the end, I don't think that's necessarily what people want. I think they need to want that, but they don't.
I had to have a really. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
It's like you're taking what you've been told and adopted it into your psyche. So this is what you're told. This is the perception. That's what's been thrown at you as a North American since childhood. So once you move beyond that, then it's easy. But go ahead, Jenny.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yes, these social constructs are no joke, and I'll use 2 minutes to give you an example of construct breaking. My boyfriend, who I've been with for going on 2 years now, is a lovely human being. And he was raised in a very traditional house where the woman was happy to do domestic things, very nurturing in that way. And I'm very nurturing in that way, but not domestic, hence no children. And the first time I was ever married was 37. So what had happened was he was attracted to women like me, but wanting a traditional construct. I don't know if he thought or knew he wanted it, but that's what he was in his head was supposed to look like, how it's supposed to be. And I had to very clearly be like, I see your predicament here. You want women who talk about aliens but are happy to cook and clean. And he goes, it's not that dramatic. And I'm like, I'm being a little dramatic, but isn't that right? You want both of those in one woman. I go, that's not me. So we have to be realistic here. And we're a year in at this point. I'm like deeply in love with him, and I had to discuss with him a couple things about what I thought he wanted and what I was. And it really put it into perspective for him. So he was able to basically say, hey, okay, you're not typical. And the reason I love you is because you're not typical, and that looks different domestically than what I'm used to seeing. And then we broke through that construct, and here we are, sitting very equal, no man's job, no woman's job, very comfortable. So it takes a while to chisel away at those constructs, even if you're a wildly open-ended and open-minded person.
Yeah, and I think all you have to do is they say, okay, make a list of what you want in a mate. All you have to do is look at that list and say, okay, you know what? You can go through and go, okay, this is what I think I should want. You start shooting on yourself. But and if you really think about it, the things that you really need and what you truly want are going to be, makes me laugh or those sorts of things. Whereas women are told, I want a guy who's tall. And that, poor short guys on dating sites. Oh, I feel so bad for them.
That's why they lie. That's why they lie about their
their height. It's not fair. Like they can't help how tall they are. Jeez, give a short guy a break.
Yeah, as a former short guy myself, I would like to say,
give us a chance.
I went through that phase, and I was able to navigate my way out of it. I should write a book, how to move through your shortness into your spiritual.
You should, but don't shit on yourself.
Right. As a progressive man, modern man, I would like to say that I really didn't even hear what you said women were looking for. I know what I heard the part about men, and then I tuned everything else out. I'm so sorry.
Women want
like?
they want Prince Charming. They want someone who's going to sweep them off their feet, has lots of money, handsome, rich, the whole 10 yards or 9 yards, and will like put them on a pedestal, treat them like a queen without them having to do anything to get to that point. They just think it's just someone who just sweeps them off their feet. And then the guys that do that, because they know what women want, are usually the ones like that, what was that Netflix show where the guy just totally took all of her money? John something? Nasty John. Watch Nasty John. He took so many women because he was the guy that women have been conditioned to think they want. So, anyways, let's get caller number 6.
So, callers that are on the line, if you're listening right now and you'd like to be caller number 6, I need you to dial in this number, 323-642-1188. If you're on the line listening and you'd like to be caller number 6, I need you to press number 1 on your keypad, because we don't believe in ambushing people. And so now we have caller number 6 ready.
Hooray! Lucky caller number 6.
504 area code. 504. What's your name, location, and what's your question or comment, please?
Hi, my name is Debbie, and I was wondering if you could tell me about if I was wrong for assuming something in my relationship.
Okay, and where are you calling from, Debbie?
Louisiana. I hope that's not too vague.
Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, so you know what? You don't have to give me the background. That's good that you're not. What I'm seeing, okay, so when Spirit gives me information, sometimes they make me work for it. In this case, what they're giving me is a 4-leaf clover, which I guess it's lucky when you find it. So whatever it is that you're assuming about your relationship is right but not right, if you know what I'm saying. It's right on some levels, but on a deeper level, it isn't right. It's surface level, you're right, but deeper down, you're not right. Does that make any sense to you, Debbie?
Kind of, yeah, because it is very mixed messages.
So what you're seeing on the surface, mixed messages. So your assumption on the surface is that it's not good. However, deeper, as I go deeper, it is. It's what you're seeing, what you're seeing, like the mixed part, is true. And what you're assuming about it is true. But the reasons for it are actually not bad. I don't have a bad feeling about it, but on the surface, it's what you see is exactly what it is. But deep down, if you give it some time and ask the right questions, because the surface questions it looks bad on the surface. On paper, it's not good. However, deeper down, it is good. So it's about you asking the right questions instead of the facts. It's not what it is, it's about what it could be. There is a lot of potential for what it could be. I know, it sounds screwy, but that's what I'm getting.
Well, it seems like a lot of talk and not a lot, nothing, a lot of promises. And that's what it feels like.
Well, the promises, new. Because you see the promises as bullshit, and you're right.
Yeah.
Those promises are bullshit. But the reasons for it are, you know what? We'll go back to the Prince Charming thing. This person's been conditioned that women want A, B, and C. So he's working from a faulty premise system. Or she, I don't know if you're whatever. He, okay. So he's working from the faulty premise system that this is what women want, because most do. But if you get to the deeper root of it, that's not how he really thinks or feels. The things that he wants are more on par with what you want. So go a little deeper with the person if you want to. If you don't want to, don't waste your time. Okay. But if you do go a little bit deeper with them and say, are these things that you think I want? And if he says yes, then you know where you're working from. It's about navigating the waters with this person. And I do feel like if you do go deeper down, there is substance there. I don't feel like they're a grifter like Nasty John. But watch Nasty John because it was very interesting. So I hope that helps.
I didn't hear that.
It's on Netflix. It's called Nasty John. It's about this guy who takes these. Yeah, it's about this guy that takes these. He becomes everything that he thinks the woman wants, and they fall for a hook, line, and sinker. But he's not a good person. I don't think this is a Nasty John, but I think he's working from a faulty premise that women just want to be swept off their feet, which is kind of true. They do. So you've got to look within yourself and say, does part of me want this? So if part of you wants this, say, why do I want this? Fix that part of you, and then ask the better questions.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, and when they make a promise that they don't fulfill, call them on it. This is a good practice for you because I think a lot of the times, I feel like you haven't asked for what you want. You sort of assume that people should know, and I think what you want is the things that he's not giving you right now, but because he doesn't know. Yeah.
Okay. He's so unhappy all the time. It's, I just step back. I mean, he's a good person, but he's just a complainer, and that, as an empath, that gets me down.
Well, move on. People complain. Yeah, but you know what, though? Do we have any more callers? Because I can go on this one forever.
We do, don't we?
Nah, we do.
Oh, okay. So, men think that women want to hear them complain because they feel like they're sharing their soul. Don't ask me why, because another woman probably told them you don't communicate enough. So just say, why do you complain all the time? Just ask them straight up, why do you complain all the time? So, okay, thank you for calling, Debbie from Louisiana. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Take
Appreciate
care.
You.
Okay.
As a former man, I would like to say that did not resonate with me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we do want. Maybe we feel validated by that. Like, you don't love me if you're not nagging because somebody told me that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know.
But, this is what we're here is to learn, right? So, if everyone up to a point has told him that this is what women want, or he read a book that wasn't quite right or whatever, he makes these promises or says the things that he thinks she wants to hear because he's working from a faulty premise. And that's not being our authentic self. That's, you should be saying and doing what you want to say and do and get to know each other from, honesty and objectivity. But
takes a lot of work, and I think I'm happy that I took a couples counseling course a long time ago, parenting classes. There was so much. They should have had a grown man class. I would have took it because a lot of these notions, I don't know how they fall upon me, but I had so many beliefs that were just like, when somebody presented it to me and I thought about it, it was like, no, I don't even like that idea. I grew up I had a parent that was all about spanking, and then as an adult, I was like, well, you're supposed to spank. And somebody said, so you're supposed to hit your kid that you love, and I don't know, different strokes for different folks, But when I thought about it, I was like, no, I don't want to be hitting them, you know. So now I'm not at all that guy. So I appreciate people giving me the opportunity to reevaluate some of these belief systems that I just picked up along the way at a Greyhound bus station bathroom or something. But I'm not the rustler. I just want to say that, because the rustling, I'm not that guy. So do you guys want to take caller number 7?
Sure. I thought the rustling was a joke because of the last week.
Yeah.
Do you hear it, Jennifer?
It was probably me because I write down everything. So I write down everyone's name and number.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll mute myself because it is your call, Jenny.
Well, I was just trying to figure out if it was our connection or if it was me or what it was, but it sounded like a little wrestling, so I just figured it was maybe Drew's quarantine beard rubbing up against his mic, but maybe it wasn't.
I have my beard is on my back now. I'm officially one of those guys. I'm a back beard man. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't even grow hair like that. I've never had a full beard. I barely get a mustache. I don't know. Maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe I have a lot of feminine genes or something. But anyway, we have caller number 7 ready for us. Who's ready? Jenny McD. So also, before we take caller number 7, I want to take this moment to just let you know that you can connect with these ladies off the air. Sometimes you have a question, it's like, I wanted to ask, I'll ask next week, and you never ask because maybe you're not comfortable doing it with everybody looking, and you like to talk to them privately. And maybe, you want to have something a little more in-depth. You can connect with these ladies very simply. You can go to email. You can email Jenny McDaniel at Jenny, JENNIE .McDaniel, McDaniel, @gmail.com. And you can check her out on Facebook as well, Jenny.McDaniel on Facebook. And you can connect with her like that. You can also connect with Jennifer Evans. You can visit her. You can email her. Her email is healer medium, only one time, healer medium @live.ca. And her website is iseedeadpeople.ca. ISEE deadpeople.ca, just like in the movie, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So you can email, website. You can also go to EverydayPsychicRadio.com, and there's links to connect with these ladies in a variety of ways. And you can also connect with me. Wouldn't you like that? Yeah, that'd be great. You can do that by tuning in on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. I'll be right here waiting for you. I'll keep the light on for you. So let's go ahead and take caller number 7. Are you ready, Jenny?
Yes, I am.
Cool. 828 area codes. What's your name, location? What's your question or comment?
Hi, my name is Scott. I'm from Massachusetts, and I'm going to continue the dating theme, I guess. I've been married twice. I've had, I think, 4 longer-term relationships, like between 6 months and a couple of years. And only recently, in the last year and a half, have I actually done any dating. I've always, either been approached by someone that ended up working out into a long-term relationship, or put my eye on somebody and then that ended up working out. But so dating is new for me, but I'm really focused on finding my twin flame. And because the relationships I've been in have been so different, the women have been like on opposite ends of the scale, and I've enjoyed all of them, I'm like, well, I need some help figuring out like who my twin flame is. Like, what are they like? Mm-hmm. Are they nearby? Are they across
Wonderful
the country?
Question.
Are they black? Are they white?
It's a wonderful question. I appreciate you asking that. And I'll take a little time to bring some information to you as well as anyone else who's listening. There's a lot of theories on a lot of different New Age metaphysical ideas, especially the twin flame connection. Now, I'm going to give you my undogmatic assessment of it. The twin flame energy is, now what your spirit guides are saying is first and second marriage are twin flame potentials. So people who there was a connection to, that you felt a certain way about, that you took into a more intimate space, and that you took into maybe even a more legal space like marriage, you're saying that's a twin flame potential. The determination of if it's a full twin flame lifelong relationship is if the equality is there and if the passion and chemistry stay the same. As we know, as humans, we shift and change, and that's okay. The idea that we should only have one lover for a lifetime is a bit drab to me, but point being, we learn no matter how many different people we date, and we learn what we want and what we don't want. And what they're saying is because the longevity wasn't there with the first and second, we do see another potential for you. We can't tell you where that person's is because there's more than one option for you. You're a very likable fella, they're saying. You're dateable. You're a good catch. They're saying this then gives you the opportunity to also merge with people who are wonderful, good catches, have good outlooks on life, maybe have certain things that you're interested in. They're saying that's the twin flame, and then to see how long you guys can carry that out. Again, the first and second marriage ended. The third marriage could also end if that's what you're looking for, a marriage. But what they're saying is you've learned so much that we do see you refining your search in a way that's going to look for a certain substance. And so they're saying there's a lot of choices out there for you, and you get to be the determiner. You're the one with free will and a beautiful ego from God to decipher who this individual is. What we can't control is how long that person stays in love with us, as well as if we stay in love with them. So they're saying go at this dating thing with a wild card in your back pocket. Less must have to now and more interested in getting to know people, giving them time to show their internal fears and stresses. There's a funny meme on Facebook that was like, skip the small talk, tell me about your major traumas and what you're doing to work on them at a date. Like tell me what movement you're doing. So they're saying, yes, your twin flame is out there. Yes, there's many choices. You get to learn and grow and move through and get to know these people and see which one suits you best. And that is exciting. And like I said earlier in the show, we're not usually taught how to date. Usually it's just like, happens and whimsically, to find yourself married to someone maybe you went to high school with or college with or something. But it is more of a paring down what you do and don't want and seeing if this person possesses tools. IQ tools, emotional intelligence tools to work through triggers as opposed to projecting onto a partner, which oftentimes is the end of a relationship. So they're saying find someone with emotional maturity, high IQ in the emotional space, has tools to move through traumas because it's not if, it's just when we're going to have them as humans. And they're saying that's more of the tools of a twin flame as opposed to some magical, mystical experience, although it can be that too. But good luck on your path. I hope that was helpful. And just put yourself out there and learn people and let them show you who they are and have less of attachment to that and give it time. They're saying absolutely, you're an excellent catch. You'll make a woman very happy. Just find the right one who's looking for what you have to offer too. And having her be honest with herself. Very commonly, we're not honest with ourselves. So they're saying find someone that's honest, knows what they want. Knows, you've developed that and know what you want. We appreciate you for calling. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that reminds me of me listening to what you were saying. I would meet somebody and they were awesome, and then we'd go all in. But later I would discover that they weren't who I thought they were because we put our best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
I would just get attached so fast. It's like, oh.
A lot of us do. It's very normal, and that's why the dating scene is almost non-existent, is because, we're almost done here. Yes, almost why the dating is non-existent, well, because it's uncomfortable, especially for empaths, and, we just kind of fall head over heels with someone who either makes us feel a certain way or looks a certain way, which is nice, but there's so much more. It's a very developed process. And again, it's becoming more developed because less people are getting married at 22 and more people are getting married in their 30s and 40s, and we're more developed. So I think it's all changing. Generational change. I'm glad people aren't getting married at 22. If you do, that's fine, but there's so much to uncover in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're older and wiser now. And this show is old and wise because now it's reaching it's going to ready to head off into the sunset. This has been Everyday Psychic Radio, Everyday Psychic Radio. We're here next week, Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. This is part of the Heart Over Ego Radio Network. Tune in 6 days a week for different shows to raise your vibration and help you to live your best life. So I'm Drew Pillow on behalf of Jenny and Jennifer, who you can visit, get more information about them on EverydayPsychicRadio.com. Check them out. Check me out. Check us out. We'll see you next time. Bam.
Today's show is brought to you by Heart Over Ego Radio. I'm Drew